Hello students and welcome to our online learning. This is for the Sarasa Switai Tsuksa Schools bilingual program. Our unit is still Unit 6, the old house. Today we are going to be looking at the Superminds students books and the workbooks from page 78, the habitats. Now you will not open your books yet until a little later, but please keep your books close to you. Now let's do our dialogue, the dialogue on my country, and then the vocabulary before we go into the lesson for today. Welcome, I'm Teacher Gerald.
My country. Thailand is my country. The former name was Siam. The current capital city is Bangkok. Bangkok is named the Venice of the East. The Thai flag has 3 colours: red, white and blue. Buddhism is the national religion. Ratchapruk is the national flower. My country is beautiful and peaceful. Thai food is very delicious. I am proud to be a Thai. I love my country. Dialogue 1. About my country. 1. What is the name of our country?
It's Thailand.
2. What was the former name of Thailand?
It was Siam.
3. What is the current capital city of Thailand?
It's Bangkok.
4. What was the first capital of Thailand?
It was Sukhothai.
5. Why is Bangkok named the Venice of the East?
Because of the many canals.
6. How many colours are there in the Thai flag?
3 colors. They are red, white and blue.
7. What is the national religion of Thailand?
Is Buddhism.
8. Do you love your country?
Yes, I love my country.
สวัสดี
Very good so far. Now, let's take our time to learn this week's vocabulary. For math, we will say the following words. 1. Hold. 2. Exactly. 3. Compare. Good. Social studies. Number 1. Sikhism. Number 2. Pray. Number 3. Church. Good. Science. Number 1. Force. Number 2. Stop. Number 3. Pull. Health education. Number 1. Weak. Number 2. Cheerful. Number 3. Alert. Good. Now to language. Number 1. Animal. Number 2. Tongue. Number 3. Leave. Great. Now let's do the reading. It's for social studies. We will say, Christians follow the teaching of Jesus Christ. Christians pray in a church. Good. Our lesson for today is habitats. Can we spell habitats together? H-A-B-I-T-A-T-S. Habitats. Very good. Habitats are homes or environments of living things. Remember living things? What are the characteristics of living things? Okay, living things could also be plants and animals and other things that we do not see, but they grow. Okay, yeah, so homes and environments of living things are called habitats. That's where they make their houses. Remember, you have your own house somewhere. And so animals and plants also make their homes somewhere that we will call habitats. So just like we live in our houses, animals also have their own kind of houses, and they live in different environments, and like we do. And I'm not talking about the spiders you see in your house or the cats or the dogs, but let's look at other animals and their different habitats, the environments where they call home. Can you look at your house? Oh well, does it look anything like this house here? Well, maybe not, but houses are different. Some are large, some are small, some are do not have a staircase or a hall, but we all live in different places where we call home. And I'm sure everyone is always excited to go home, no matter how or what it looks like. Good. Now let's look at the habitats for the different animals. What animal is this? It's a bear. It's a polar bear. Polar bears live in the polar regions. The polar regions are the regions of the world that are up in the north or down in the south. That's up, way up. You see the world is round, like on top of the world, and just at the bottom of the world is where the polar regions are. And the polar bear lives in the polar regions. Polar regions are cold. They've got a lot of ice and a lot of snow. But that's where polar bears make their homes. About this animal, do you know what this animal is? I know because you've been watching, or maybe you watched the penguins of Madagascar. Yeah, these are called penguins. Penguins also make their homes in very cold environments in the polar regions. And as you see, there's all white snow and ice where they live. The polar regions are color mostly white. Why? Because of a lot of snow. Okay, very good. Now look at this. Can you see the waves? These are waves, and they're in the ocean. The ocean is another habitat. It's an environment where a lot of other animals live, like fish and sharks or turtles or something else called a coral. The coral is what protects us, or those who live on the land, from getting storms from the ocean, because coral forms what are called reefs to keep the water from flowing away from the ocean. Good. What color are oceans? What color do you see? Good. Color blue and green. And splashes of white. Okay. Let's head out to a different place now, and you will see a lot of green and very tall trees. We call it the jungle. That's another habitat. The jungle are forests or grasslands, and some animals like the tiger. Do you remember the tiger? Did you remember that we say that tigers live in tall grass? Okay, that's part of the jungle. But there are also other animals that live in the jungle, and they patch up their houses up on the trees. The birds. What's one of the birds that you know? Good, a parrot. Good. Yeah, so parrots also live in the jungle. Now let's go to a different environment. What do you see here? What color is it? Color brown. Yes, because it's sand, and the sand here is color brown. Deserts. Deserts are made of a lot of sand. So this habitat is called a desert. These kind of habitats are called deserts. And they're made of a lot of sand. The sand makes hills that are called dunes. In the desert, it's very hot and dry, and so not too many animals live there, and very few plants also can grow in the desert, but only in a few places in the desert. But in the desert, you also find an animal called a camel. The camel is a tall animal with a hunchback, and the hunchback is said to help the camel store up a lot of fat and then also store up a lot of water in its body, and so it can be able to walk through the desert without getting thirsty for a longer time than most other animals. Let's look at another different habitat. It's called a mountain. Mountains are tall and they rise up above the earth into the clouds. Some mountains are very cold and there's a lot of snow up at the top. And some mountains are rocky. Can you see this one? It's very rocky, right? Yeah. Do you know what rocks are? Okay, good. Up on some mountains, there are animals that look like goats. They are actually wild, a sort of a wild kind of goat, and they're called Ibex. The Ibex live up on the mountains and especially in the rocky places. So you will find goats that live on the mountains, but you'd also find those other animals that look like goats that live on the cliffs, on the rocks of the mountains. Okay, now you can take out your Superminds students books and open page 78. Let's look at habitats. Now that you've already learned something about them, let's go to number 1. And can we read together, please? Okay, let's start. Look. How do you spell look? L-O-O-K. At the habitats. How do we spell habitats? H-A-B-I-T-A-T-S. Habitats. Look at the habitats. What colors are they? What did you notice about number 1, the polar region? What color is it? What color is snow? Okay. What about number 2? What color are the oceans? What color is the jungle? What do you see? And what color are deserts? What color do you see here in the picture of the desert? And what color are mountains? Okay, good students. Let's keep going. Thank you. Number 2, what do you find in the habitats? What's the first picture? Great, it's a desert. What do you find in the desert? You find sand in the desert. What do you find in the jungle? You find trees in the jungle. What do you find on the mountains? You find rocks in the mountains. What do you find in the oceans? You find coral. Can you see red coral there? Great. And what do you find in the polar regions? You find snow. Great. Thank you. That's been a very good study. And I really appreciate that you have stayed all through. And we're just about to finish. But before we do, let's keep carrying on. We continue our lesson on habitats. Number 1. Where do you find the animals? Number 1. You find tigers in the jungle. Number 2. Where do you find the parrot? You find a parrot or parrots in the jungle. Good. Where do you find camels? Did you say desert? Very good. So tell me the rest of the animals you see here. Where do you find them? You find a goat on the mountains. Number 5, you find a polar bear in the polar region. You find number 6, a shark in the ocean. Number 7, a jellyfish in the ocean. And number 8, penguins in the polar region. Okay, today we will not work on number 2. We will not make a habitat. Instead, we will go to the next page, page 80, and there we are going to exercise our creativity. So turn to page 80. Page 80, number 1. Listen and imagine. Then draw your picture.
Imagine a house. Is it big or small? Is it old and scary? What color is the house? How many bedrooms are there? Is there a kitchen? A living room? A dining room? Is there a cellar under the house? What about the garden? Is it big or is it small? Now draw your house and garden.
Did you draw your picture, or have you started drawing your picture? Very good. You may also draw after this lesson. At the end of this lesson, you can also continue to draw your picture. Please draw your picture and then send it back to me, and we will get to see how creative you are. Let's get to see your house. I'm sure it's going to be a lovely house. Next, we will get to do our assignment, and so I will ask you to please take out your Superminds workbooks. Okay, let's turn to page 78 and 79 of our Superminds Book 1 workbook. We will do the exercises on page 78 and 79. They are not too hard for you to do. If you find a problem getting to fill the blanks, because number 1, you will write the letters which fill the blanks for the different habitats, please refer to your student's book, the Supermind student's book from page 78, and I'm sure you will find it a lot easier for you to fill in the blanks. Then number 2, match the words with the pictures. Match the words with the pictures. Draw a line and match the words with the pictures. Then turn to page 79. You will write the words. Write the words. You see the words are in the box there. And the first picture is of a tiger. And so pick out one of the words which is already there, struck out, and it's already written tiger. Then what's number 2? Number 2 is a bird. What do we call that bird? It's a parrot. How do we spell parrot? P-A-R-R-O-T. You find it in the box up there. So please fill in that blank with the word parrot. do all of those up to number 8, and then go to number 2, where you will just take out your pencil, colored pencil, and you will then shade. You will color the circles in activity 1. Where you find the animals that live in the polar regions, please color the small circle in color gray. For the oceans, will be color blue. Yellow for the deserts, red for the mountains, green for the jungle. Remember, like the parrot lives in the jungle, so you color the circle color green. And that will be your homework for today. You have a long weekend and you have some good time to do your assignment, but please do this assignment as soon as you can and submit it back for checking. For now, I'm very glad that you have enjoyed the lesson, and I look forward to the next time. See you. So until next time, good luck to you.